In the name of Amen, the Supreme, the All-Powerful, the one and only true Lord, in Amen we trust, as the Republic of Mentellect, the true 144,000 is being gathered in this day and time, the real new covenant, that's the NEW covenant of the future. Good evening, I am your host, the intellectual ᴍᴇᴰᴇʟʟ, and this is Mentellect Radio, and tonight we're going to be discussing why must the bright race build up a mental defense. Why is that important? First, before I start, I would like to thank all of you who are tuning in at this hour at 10 p.m. You know, I chose to go up an hour from my old 9 o'clock schedule to 10 p.m. And like I said, the broadcast will be going from 10 p.m. on from now on. Reason I did it is because I decided to change the channel, change the frequency, and raise it because, as I said, we as mentalists, as Mentellians, we have our own number, and our number is 10. Our number is 10. Like the Nation of Islam, they had their number, which was 7. The 5%ers, I think they had their number, which was 5 or 7. The Nuwapians had the number 9, and we, as the Mentellians, we have the number 10. So it made sense to raise the vibration from 9 to 10, because 10 denotes separation. It denotes the first form of separation, the circular from the linear. The circular from the linear. The revolution from the evolution. The evolution represents the straight linear line of growth, of development, of change. And the circle represents the revolutionary line of constant and habitual ritual, constant ritual, circular ritual. We as an evolving people who are looking to grow into the extended version of ourselves, into the greater, into the supreme version of ourselves, we are moving on a linear line. And this is the time of separation from those who want to continuously move within the circle of limitations. So this is why the number 10 is our number, and it represents separation. We will constantly be separating ourselves as the bright race, away from the black race, away from the white race, away from the human race, and we are moving toward the Amen race, the race of judges, the Lord race, the supreme race of Amen. We as descendants of Amen, we as descendants of that race of judges, that race of lords, the true overlords and creators of all things in existence, we have to form our mental, our physical, and our solar connection with our ascendants, with our future ascendants, who we refer to as the bright race, not of the black race. Now, no longer of the so-called Negro, African American, and all the other terms, all the other terms that came from other races of people. We are moving forward. And if we are to move forward and find the extended and greater version of ourselves, the evolutionary version of ourselves, the higher version of self, we must separate ourselves mentally, first and foremost. And then the separation will come physically, and then it will be soulfully. The energy will be different. The energy will change. This is necessary. But in order for this to happen, a mental defense has to be built up. A mental defense has to be built up because as we are growing out of the black race, we are coming out of and coming from amongst the so-called black race, there's going to be many people within the black race, within the white race, within the human race that's going to want you to go back to being black people again. They're going to try to draw you into this society. They're going to try to make you fit in to what's going on here. In other words, they're going to lower your vibration and frequency. When you start to think outside the box when you start to think outside the matrix, outside of this three-dimensional picture of person, place, and possession, and you are moving toward power, which is the mental power, the higher mental capabilities, the extended version of the future self. As you start doing that, these people are going to try to pull you back down into the matrix with them. They're going to be working on it. They're going to try to clown you. They're going to try to make fun of you. They're going to say what you're saying sound crazy. They're going to make you feel like you an outcast. Why you listening to this guy, Newbin? Why you trying to join this Republic of Mentellect? He just trying to take your money. He just want to be a leader. They're going to say everything. They're going to say everything to pull you back into that low frequency. Everything. They're going to do everything in their power to pull you back into that low frequency. Because as you are raising in frequency, as you are raising in reception, they're becoming lower and lower. And when they become lower and lower, and as you raise higher and higher, they will eventually fade away. And the only way that they can continue forward is by feeding on you, by feeding on your mental energy, right? By having ignorant communication with you, by getting you involved in ignorant communication, by getting you involved in ignorant interactions, by getting you to hang out in places and do things, get high with them, get drunk with them, listen to stupid music with them, do the stupid things that are going to lower you mentally, that's going to lower your frequency. Because every time you're taking part in that, every time you're putting your energy into these things, you are cutting off the connection to the higher self. You are cutting off the connection to the higher self. You are betraying the higher self. You saying that you don't want your ascendants to make it. You're saying that you don't want to make it. You'll say, well, ain't nothing wrong with me smoking some weed. Ain't nothing wrong with me listening to 2 Chainz or Fetty Wap or Nicki Minaj or whoever you listen to. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with me Snapchatting and talking with my friends and whatnot. But what you don't understand is when you're speaking to them, when you're giving your mental energy to them, when you realize, if you have the mental ability to realize that you are of the bright race, that you are of the race of lords, the race of Amen, that you are of the bright race, once you realize that, you become marked. You become a target. You're going to become a target for destruction. What do I mean by that? The very people who you think are your friends, your family, right? They're going to try and destroy you. They're going to try and destroy you mentally with their low frequency, with their low, ignorant communication. They're going to try and destroy you. They're going to try to bring you back into their realm, into their world. Now, they'll do one or two things. They'll be nice enough to, even if they really care about you, they'll be nice enough to avoid you because they don't want to bore you or pull you in with their ignorant communication, because 9 times out of 10, they know they're not talking about nothing. Your friends, your family, and all these other people, they know they're not talking about nothing. They know their frequency and their mental connection is low. They know this. So they will try and avoid you, or they will try to be a hindrance or constantly get in your way to tune you into their low frequency. Right? Either they'll be benevolent and they'll just leave you alone and barely have anything to talk about with you. And a lot of times you'll all see that as a form of, being treated as an outcast, which is really a good thing. But when they try to include you, that's a bad thing. See, we were taught in this society when people treat you like an outcast, that's a bad thing. No, it's actually a good thing, because it just lets you know that you don't belong. And it's good to know early on that you don't belong so that you don't waste your mental energy trying to fit in. It's good to know that you don't belong. It's good to know that you're supposed to be separate, that you're supposed to be elsewhere receiving something else, that you don't belong with these people. But you try to force your way in, because that was the trick they played on the so-called black race, right? They were treating you like outcasts, and when they were treating you like outcasts, I'm talking about the Caucasians, they were treating you like outcasts in society. You took all the opportunity in the world to start doing things for yourself. You started building up your own communities. Start doing business yourself, and they didn't want that. They didn't want you to do that. So what did they do? They started trying to include you in things, and they tried to make it seem like it was your idea. They got black people to get to spearhead what they really wanted all along, which was integration. They got people like Martin Luther King and them to spearhead their plan, which was to integrate you into society, right? To make you like everybody else. See, because if they make you like everybody else, if they integrate you into society, then there's nothing special about you. You will never truly find out who you are and where you belong and what kind of energy you're supposed to be receiving and giving off. You will never truly grow as a person, right? You will always be trying to link yourself to other races of people, to other groups of people where you don't belong. You never discover who you are. You never discover what your purpose is in life. And now, as the bright races, we are coming up as the mentalists, as we are coming up as the bright race, separating ourselves from the black race. We can't afford to partake in any ignorant communication at this point of development. At this point of development, we can't afford to partake in ignorant communication with people who are finished mentally, who carry a low mental frequency and vibration, who do nothing but spew out ignorant communication all day. We can't afford that. We can't afford that as a people who are looking to evolve. We can't afford that. So we must build up a mental defense. A lot of people sit up here and they'll listen to the broadcast and they like what I'm saying, but you just can't stop being black. You got too much black activity going on in your life. You got too many black friends. You got too many white friends. You got too many people who are of the submental frequency, who carry the submental frequency. That's why I said we had to bring about the Republic of Mentellect, the bright community, so that we would have within this community to interact with people who are striving for the same things you're striving for, which is mental supremacy. Mental supremacy, physical supremacy, and solar supremacy, soul supremacy. We're not looking for equality with nobody else. We ain't looking for equality with no one else. No one. We have to keep this in mind. This has to be kept in mind when you're building up the mental defense, that we're not black people. We're not black people, and our concerns are not black people's concerns. We're not black people. We have to constantly be telling yourself that that's one of the ways you build up your mental defense. You have to say to yourself all the time and remind yourself all the time that you're not of the black race. You're not of the black race. You have to make it your business to get home to the Republic of Mentellect where you belong. You have to make it your business to get yourself home to the Republic of Mentellect, because you can't sit up here and say, yeah, brother, I'm with the bright race, but I'm just not in the Republic of Mentellect. Then no, you're not. You're with the black race. Because the bright race is supposed to be together, finding other people of the bright race so that we can bring about this community, because the community is the answer to everything. As long as you remain out there amongst the so-called black race, you will be in a submental basement, and you will be doing things that are not about your evolution. You will constantly be going in a ritual, a rotation, doing the same ignorant, low-frequency things. You'll keep smoking weed. You'll keep drinking liquor. You'll keep tattooing yourself up. You'll keep listening to stupid music, which is noise that you call in music. You'll keep doing the same thing. And that's all meant to keep you from evolving mentally. It's all meant to keep you from becoming that race of supreme beings. It's meant to keep you from becoming that race of supreme beings, that race of lords, that race of judges over everybody, over the gods and the devils. Because, as I explained before, we even bigger than God. We bigger than God. The Amun race are over gods, and we are over the devils. We are the overlords over everybody. It will stop you from becoming that race of overlords. You are that race of overlords over the human race, who is the manifestation of God and the devil, good and evil. But you're not going to discover that. You're not going to get to your highest state of being because you're too weak, a lot of you. Because you have not built up that mental defense. You still want to be black. You claim you want to be bright, but you still want to be black at the same time. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. You're either going to be bright or you're going to be black. You can't be, I want to be a little bit, I want to be bright, but I still want to be a little bit black. No, it don't work like that. Then you all the way black then. Either you're going to ignite and be of that light or that solar procession, of that bright procession, either you're going to ignite the inner soul in you and come around the people who are working to ignite that inner soul and bring about that movement of separation, or you're going to stay amongst the black race in that low submental state. You got to constantly remind yourself that you're not black. That's one of the exercises. Like I told that sister the other night, I said, you wanna raise to the higher self? She said, yeah. I said, then stop being black. Stop being black. See, because the big thing is on right now, and like I said, it's no coincidence that you're seeing all this black consciousness stuff coming up now. Everybody pushing this black consciousness stuff in one way, shape, or form. They either pushing the race thing, or they pushing black consciousness, or they pushing Black Lives Matter, or they got Lil Wayne, this guy up here talking about Black Lives Matter. So they got the hip hoppers in on it too. They pushing that whole black thing, not because they give a damn about the so-called black race or that they plan on giving y'all some form of equality. It's not because of that. The whole point of that is to keep you in a low mental space, in a submental space. That's why they really pushing it. They have no plans of making you equal with them, or giving you, or empowering your organizations or your movements or your causes. They have no plans on doing it. The whole point is to keep you in a submental state as black people. That's why they pushing all this black, red, black, and green, black power, black revolution nonsense, man. It's all to keep you revolved in a circle of madness, in a circle of darkness, never to find your higher self, never to find your extended self, never to find your supreme self. So again, you have to constantly remind yourself that you are not black. You have to come home to the Republic of Mentellect. You have to come home to the Republic of Mentellect. And you have to live this life of Mentellect. I know people will sit up here and say, well, you know, I still want to chill with my friends. I miss my friends. I still want to do my thing. I got a lot of anxiety. I still want to hang out with my peoples and whatnot. I still want to get high. I still want to do that. You got to get rid of that stuff. See, because the very things that you want to do, the very things that keep you out of the Republic of Mentellect, the very things that keep you from evolving are temporary things. Your desire for temporary things. Like you'll want that fast food. You'll want that fast food. You'll want that cheeseburger from McDonald's or Wendy's because you're used to eating cheeseburgers and French fries and stuff from McDonald's, Wendy's, or Burger King. But in the long run, because you will want it, because it's a impulse thing. But in the long run, it's destroying you. It's destroying you mentally. It's destroying you physically. That's what the whole point of that is, to destroy you. So you want these things, you want these quick fixes, to be thought of as being a part of something, being black, being a part of something. Mentellect is not a quick fix. Mentellect is not a quick fix. Mentellect is that extended intelligence into a greater existence. It is that extended intelligence into a greater existence, into your higher self. You'll get black people saying, oh, what he talking about? Ain't no higher self. What he trying to sell you? They'll say anything to try to pull you back into blackness, because that black submental energy is strong. That black submental energy is strong. I'm going to say it again. That black submental energy is very strong. You got a lot of temptation out here to be black people, to remain as black people. Notice the white man's putting out all these black movies now. See, watch everything. So I pay attention to everything. You ain't never seen it like this before. You see a white man putting out more black movies, putting more black people in movies. You starting to see that. You got Fences out. You got Hidden Figures coming out, which is really just the white man's way of pushing the black woman with the white man. If you watch the movie Hidden Figures, even though I'm going to go see it, but I already know what it is. Intelligent black women with intelligent white men. No black men around, no white women around. They trying to pair the black woman, an intelligent black woman, with the intelligent white man. And then they had Janelle Monáe's character looking at the white man to how he looked good. See, all that's subliminal. All that's subliminal. You understand? But see, you can't see this as long as you're moving within the black race, because the black race don't see nothing. They mentally dead. They're mentally dead. And because they don't see what's coming ahead of them, because they can't see what's in front of them, they're going to be destroyed. They're going to be destroyed because they can't. People who can't see what's in front of them, that's constantly looking back. They talking about Egypt and Africa and black power and what's going on in society today. They're not talking about the future, the things they should be talking about. Those are people that's going to be destroyed, man. When you can't see what's in front of you, when you're not dictating what's supposed to be for you to be doing, you're not laying out your plan for the future, that's a sign that you don't have no future. And black people want the bright race to become a part of their non-future. They want you to become a part of their death. That's really what they want. They here to be obstacles in the way of your evolution, in the way of your evolution of the greater self. The black race is not trying to evolve. Listen to me when I tell you. I got family members. I see this. They finished, man. Mentally, they finished. You got to be strong in understanding what you're seeing around. You ain't got no friends. If you really of the bright race like you claim you are, then you ain't got no friends, man. You don't have any friends. If you really of the bright race, you don't have any friends. You don't have any friends amongst the black race. You don't have any friends amongst the white race. You don't have no friends amongst the human race. You come from a race of lords, a race of overlords, a race of supreme beings, judges. This is where you come from. And a lot of times, by you trying to fit in with these people, you blot out your judgment. What do I mean by that? The very things that you looking at, you watching your friends act like idiots, and you watching them act like fools, and you watching them do stupid stuff, and you know they look ignorant, you know they look stupid, you know they look foolish, and the natural judgment in you wants to come out and tell them, yo, why am I with these people? Yo, y'all stupid. I don't want to be around these people. But you stay around them because you are caught in that low mental frequency around these people. You get trapped in it. It becomes like a magnet. More and more you hang around it, the more and more you want to be a part of it, the more and more, like I said, you get connected into it. And once you get connected into it mentally, once you are pulled into that low vibrational frequency, then the higher self, the higher state of you starts to leave. The higher you starts to disappear. It starts to dissipate. The more and more you around these people, the more and more you are taking in their mental energy, their submental vibration, the more and more you interacting with these people is bringing down your mental power. It's bringing down your mental capability, because you're supposed to be slated to receive that power on earth. Who else is it going to go to? Who else is it supposed to go to? Who is the telepathy, psychometry, clairvoyance, intuition supposed to go to but the bright race, the people who are coming out of the so-called black race? Who else is it supposed to go to? The white man? The East Indians? The Asians? They already got their little piece of it. They don't come to the end of the line. Now it's your turn up. And a lot of you are not going to get it because y'all want to stay amongst the black race. You don't want to sacrifice the black race. You don't want to sacrifice your association with the black race so that you can receive this bright power. You don't want to sacrifice your association with it. You always supposed to say when you sacrificing, because that's part of building the mental defense, you have to tell yourself, I'm sacrificing my time and my energy with these people around me who are not going to be part of my future. I'm sacrificing that so that I can find the greater self. And then you're going to start finding the greater self. Then your mental capabilities are going to start to expand. They're going to start to explode. The very first thing you're going to get is your telepathy going forward. I'm not going to say you're getting it back. You're getting it going forward. Then it'll be your psychometry. Then it'll be your clairvoyance. Then it'll be your intuition. And then all these things are going to get strong in you over time. This is a lifelong thing. This ain't I want it to happen tomorrow, or I want it to happen next week. This is a lifelong thing that's going to be building up in you. Because with each year you're living in your life represents measurement and judgment. What do I mean by that? With each year you're living, 12 months, a year you're living, that represents measurement of your life and how far you've grown mentally, how far you have developed. Developmental, measurmental. Measurement is short for measurmental. The measurement of your mind, How far have you grown? See, a lot of people come and they want to get it. I want to be telepathic. I want to be clairvoyant. I want intuition. You want to get it, but you don't really know what it means to have that power. You don't know what it means to have that power. You don't know what it means to have that ability, or what it's supposed to be used for, or how strong it could get in you, because you still thinking with black minds. You still thinking with black minds. You still thinking as black people. That's the problem. You still thinking as black people. You still hearing the thoughts of a black woman and a black man. You still thinking as black people. So as long as you are thinking as black people, you are thinking as submental and dead people, mentally dead people. Even Elijah Muhammad understood that. That's why he referred to the so-called black man and black woman as mentally dead, man, meaning that you cannot think. And if you cannot think, you cannot receive. And if you cannot receive, you will not get those higher mental capabilities. You will not get that clairvoyance, that intuition, and all these things, these telepathy, telemental power. You aren't going to get that. New things that we're going to introduce dealing with the telemental power, the teleportal power. All these things are supposed to be coming to our people. But the sacrifice is the black race, your association with the black race, your association with the so-called white race and everybody else who is not of the bright race. I'm not saying that you can't speak to nobody and things like, but you're supposed to speak to them and keep it moving, and know that each word that comes out of your mouth, each time, every time you spend with these people in your presence, taking up time and energy to talk to these people, is draining you mentally. It's draining you mentally. If you still have the desire to be around black people after hearing this and you feel you're of the bright race, then you're not of the bright race. If you still have the desire to be around black people and not be in the Republic of Mentellect, not find your way in here, not come home to the family, then you still of the black race. This ain't for you. You're going to die with them. Hell, I got news for you. The black race, they already dead, man. They just ain't lay down yet. They already gone. If anybody could tell, if somebody could get you to let your son put on a damn dress, or you tattooing yourself up, or you listening to noise and calling it music, y'all going, man. That means that all your mental capability, your mental faculties are gone. People can get you to smoke all kind of stuff. You don't even know what the hell you smoking. Like I said, you gone. Because the first sign of death is mental death. You stop doing things that make sense. See, they don't tell you that. That's why they say when, a person starts to die, they start to go through states of dementia. They start to become senile. Right? They start losing their mind. That's a sign that they losing their grip on life, man. When they start losing their mind, forgetting things, and they losing their grip on life, man. They losing their grip on reality. They losing their grip. That's a sign that they dying, man. You see black people, they do things that don't make no sense. They say things that don't make no sense. Everything is out of order. Once their thoughts are out of order and the things they're doing is out of order, then that means they're going to be out of order soon, physically out of order. Black people are on their way out. You have to keep this in mind and build up the mental defense. The mental defense is built on a threat. It's built on a threat. And that threat and that promise is that you will die with them if you continue to exchange with them and be one of them. You didn't come here to be one of the dead. If you acknowledge that you are of the bright race, you didn't come here to be one of the dead. If you acknowledge that you are of the soul race or the solar race, you didn't come here to be one of the dead, man. If you acknowledge that you are of the bright race. The black race is of the spirit now. They're spiritual beings, man. They're spiritual beings. They're caught in the special ritual of the matrix. Meaning they're going to keep doing the same thing in a rotation continuously until they die out, man. They're in that special ritual of the matrix, the special rotation. And the people of the bright race are moving in a linear line. That's the separation. They're going to keep moving in rotation with the human race, beneath the human race. At the bottom. This should be enough to say, constantly reminding yourself that you're not these people. You're not of these people. You didn't come here to be of these people. I don't care if they're your husbands. I don't care if they're your wives. I don't care if they're your children. I don't care if they're your best friend that you knew since you was in the 4th grade together. I don't give a damn. This is where the separation takes place, man. You was born alone, and you're going to leave here alone. Well, I'll say it like this. By the time you walk in the earth, you're going to walk with those who are in league with you mentally, and you're going to become stronger in that people. You're going to become stronger within that group of people, within that new race of people who are raising for your sacrifice, for building that mental defense. You're going to become stronger. These people are mentally dead. You have to sacrifice these people. Your time, your connection, your energy with these people. A lot of people think it's a joke, man. They think it's a game. They hear me up here talking. That's why I told you, and I keep saying this, and we in the new year of 2017, you know, those of you who not getting with the program, man, the reprogram, you're not getting with the reprogramming of our people, reprogramming our people on a higher level mentally, then y'all need to stop listening to this, man. You need to go and listen to, y'all need to go just listen to Conscious Community Radio or something like that. Go down the dial and listen to that, man. Because this is not for you. You're just torturing yourself because you're not trying to break that hole with that submental group of people known as black. You're not trying to do that. You're not trying to break your hole with the red, black, and green and all the things that are meant to keep you trapped in the matrix. All that's meant to keep you trapped in the matrix. All these Negroes, they controlled by the beast. If you're seeing certain people turning up on the damn Breakfast Club, turning up on the damn, what's the guy, Vlad TV, you see these Negroes, they with the beast, man. They with him. And beast is only letting them come out here so that they can keep you in that black state of submental in that black submental space, because they already know that our evolution is due, man. The beast know that. He knows that our evolution is near, man. He knows that the bright race is coming up out of the black race. They know that already. They knew this time would come. They know who the real 144,000 is. That's a real prophecy, man. That is a real prophecy. That is not a game. Everybody trying to claim that, from the Israelites to the Muslims to the Christians, it's none of them. It's a brand new people. A people who will receive a new name. Those names are not new. Christian, Muslim, Israelite, those are not new names, man. A people who will receive a new name. A new name. And that name is going to be Amen. And they're going to wear that name only. They're going to only receive Amen. They're going to do as Amen does. They're going to follow as Amen does. And they're going to judge as Amen judges. That's going to be the 144,000. It's not going to be nobody following no Bibles and no Qurans no more. Or following some science and some white man. Or believing you came out of Africa, or that you came from some damn monkeys. Or that your name is Allah, Lega, head, and all that nonsense. See, this is how you build up your psychic defense. It's very easy, because all of the things that you need to build up as a so-called black person are right in front of you. All the things, because if you move within the black race, a lot of things you're going to miss. You're going to be dumb to. And if you moving amongst black people, ain't no sense in having that. Ain't no sense in trying to teach black people this. If you still sitting up here talking about, yeah, I'm bright, but I got black friends, then you black. You black then. If you say you bright and you got black friends, then you black. You're not of the bright race. But if you know you of the bright race and you still trying to hold on to them black friends out of sentimental connection, then you're going to be destroyed with them. Keep that in mind when you trying to build up that psychic, that mental defense. Keep in mind that it's all about developing the greater version of you, the greater power of you, the greater extension of you. You can't do that with black people. You got to sacrifice something. If you truly want to meet that greater version of you, that extended version of you, you got to sacrifice something. If you ain't willing to sacrifice nothing, then you can forget it. See, because black people, that's the mind of a black person. Black people always want something for nothing. Black people always want something for nothing. You don't feel you got to sacrifice nothing. You feel like, I'm bright. It's just enough for me to call myself bright and listen to the brother. Yeah, you deep, brother. Yeah, that's right. You don't think this is real. You don't think this is real. You think I'm up here doing all these broadcasts. A lot of you think I'm up here doing these broadcasts. I'm trying to sound deep. I'm trying to sound heavy. I want to be like the niggas in the conscious community. I'm not here for that. But y'all don't get it yet. But you going to get it. You going to get it. You're going to get it, because more and more, as we moving forward into the future, as the bright race are coming home, as the 144,000 are being gathered, even within this small group we got, as we gather more and more people coming in, they starting to see it's a real community. They starting to feel it's a real community. The brothers and sisters within the Republic of Mentellect, they interacting amongst each other. They talking amongst each other, and the people that's coming into the Republic of Mentellect who are not of Mentellect, who are not of Mentellect, who are not of the Mentelian family, who are not mentalists, who are not of the almond genetic or the almonic seed, they leave, man. They leave. That's how you know this ain't no joke, because you got black people that come in here and they'll claim it's about the money. It ain't about the money. They know that the energy is different. They starting to feel that the energy is different. They feel that the energy is different. And they don't want they want to go back amongst black people where they got a kindred spirit, where they carry the same frequency as black people. That's that energy of confusion. We had a lot of confused people come in here. A lot of confused people came in, and they left up out of here. And they still carrying our names. Some of them still trying to teach what we teach. But it's too late. You of the black race, none of what you say matters. You can try to incorporate some of Mentellect in what you teach, but it don't matter. The very fact that you sitting here being liars, the very fact that you sit here and lie and steal and you being hypocritical is a very sign that you're not of the bright race, because as the bright race, we tell the truth. We tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. We ain't got nothing to hide. Nothing. And we ain't ashamed of nothing. And we're not going to be afraid of nothing. You can't say that about the black race. The black race, they're a race of cowards. They're a race of liars. You understand? And if you move in amongst a bunch of a race of liars and cowards and losers, then you're going to be just like them. Why? Because they learned that from the white man. They learn how to be liars from him. They learn how to double talk and backstab each other from him. And then a lot of them just straight up black devils. So if you truly want to build up that mental defense away from these people, it's very simple to get away from these people. Move that doubt out of your head when these people are in your head trying to talk to you. Because a lot of times, like I said, even the people who came amongst me, they wondering, well, I wonder if the brother really telling the truth. I wonder if what he's saying is real. I wonder if this really an evolution. That doubt is always there. You know why that doubt is always going to be there? That doubt is always going to be there as that submental patch in your mind that you picked up from being of the black race. Because the black race don't think nothing is possible beyond or being up under the white man. They don't think, oh, you know, if we're going to get anywhere, we got to get some land, we got to get some money, we got to make sure we get our money and our land, and we got to get our businesses and things like that. They don't value the community. That's how you know who black people are. The black people don't value the community. And when I say the community, I mean the people coming together. They don't value that. They don't think that's important. They think the money's important. They think the money's important. They think the money's important. They think the property's important. They think that's important. The people are important. The community is important because, like I said, you could lose all that stuff and wipe out totally and take that whole group of people and go somewhere else and rebuild everything back like it ain't nothing. The people are important. You have to keep that in mind in building up the mental defense, because if you have people who are mentally weak next to you, then they're going to lower your frequency. That's why when I tell people who come in the Republic of Mentellect, if you're really not of the bright race, please leave. Don't stay here. I don't want nothing from you. I don't want your money. I don't want your dues. I don't want nothing from you. Just leave. I won't be mad, I promise you, because what we working to do and bringing our people together who are raised up on this frequency, on this high mental frequency, is going to chart to a whole nother level. It's about charting into the whole nother level. See, because you don't know anything past being black. You don't know anything past being black. You don't know anything past being under the beast. You don't know anything past that. You don't think anything past that is real. You don't know anything past being under the beast. You don't know a world of being not being under them. You don't know that. You don't think that's real. You don't think that's real. You can't see it. So the sacrifice is your own kind, your own people, the people who you thought to be your own kind, because in reality, they really not your kind. They're really not your people. You in mixed marriages, you in mixed relationships, you in mixed everything with these people when you with the black race. They look like you, but they're not your people. Your people are the people who think as you think. You're going to feel that mental bliss, meaning that total state of joy and contentment when you start receiving those higher mental capabilities when you by yourself, when you're not participating in ignorance and stupidity and foolishness. You're going to feel that. You're going to start to feel the intensity of that, I promise you. You're going to feel that intensity and that peace at the same time as you are growing mentally when you come from amongst the black race. The mental defense is to block out everything they say. Block it out. Don't be around them. Talk less. Speak less. Listen less to these people. See, when you start to listen less to these people, you'll hear more. When you start listening less to these people, you're going to start to hear more. What do I mean by that? When you no longer allow yourself to be in their presence to listen to their foolishness, you're going to hear more about what it is they really saying. Because when you detox yourself from being around these people, and then you eventually come around them, like you have to be around them for something, they start talking, you're going to hear something. You're going to start hearing the truth come out of them, all of the phoniness and the lies that they put in front of your face. You're going to start to hear the truth come out of them the longer and longer you away from them. And the longer and longer you start to build up mentally. You're starting to store more mental power, more mental energy. You're starting to receive more reception and more transmission as you're starting to do that. See, because when you're around black people, you're not going to receive that. You're not going to receive that. You're going to receive the same dead energy that black people are receiving. Because, like I said, black people equals blocked people. What do I mean by blocked people? People who are blocked mentally from receiving that transmission, that brightness, that frequency and reception. They are blocked from receiving that. Absent of light. Absent of solar energy. People who have lost their souls. Like they said in that movie The Godfather, and that was a powerful statement. That guy said, one of the guys in the movie The Godfather said, when they was all the mafia guys was having a meeting, the guy said, in my neighborhood, he said, we keep the heroin, the drug dealing amongst the black people, the colored, the dark. He said, they're animals anyway, so let them lose their souls. He didn't say let them lose their spirit. He said, let them lose their souls. They know that y'all done lost your souls already. The majority of the black race, they know you spiritual. They know you caught in that ritual state of constant rotation that they set for you. They know that you've lost your soul. They know that you've lost your light or your brightness, your power. They know you lost your power. You've given over your power to them. The black race is giving over their power to the beast. That's what it means when they say you sold your soul, and you want to be amongst a bunch of soulless people, man. And even if you feel you are of the bright race, you won't be of the bright race for long, because you're going to be around people who have lost their soul, and eventually you're going to give your soul away. You can't have no black friends and be in this. You can't have no black friends and be in this. You can't have no black associates, black boyfriends, wives, or whatever. You can't have that and totally be clear of that. You're going to start separating yourself, not because I'm saying it, but you're going to start feeling it. You're going to start feeling the separation. I guarantee you that as the black people start talking to you and you start raising mentally in this thing, you're going to be like, I don't want to, no. You're going to be like, I don't want to, they're going to be like, it's something different. I know this is something different. Why you don't talk to me no more? Because you start to feel the submental vibration of these people. You start feeling it. It starts to feel like a weight talking to them. It starts to feel like a grind talking to them. So you build that up by not talking to them, by talking to them less, by building up that defense. You talk to them less. You allow them to take up less and less space in your head, less and less time, less and less energy until they start to dissipate. That's how you build up that mental defense. You understand? That's how you build up that mental defense. You start doing that. See, because when you do that, when you're doing that, what's going to happen is your mental capabilities will become stronger. The more and more you block these things out, these people out, you will become stronger. You will become stronger mentally. You will raise mentally. You will become stronger. You will build up that strong mental defense. But like I said, a lot of you are not willing to do it. You're not willing to sacrifice it. You'll listen and you'll still go back and hang out with your black friends. You'll still smoke your weed. You don't want to sacrifice. You don't want to sacrifice. It's just like when you want to work out, you want a nice body and whatnot, you got to lift them weights. You got to put that time and energy in. You got to build up your body. You got to stop eating certain foods. You got to diet. You got to do these things. You got to do these things if you truly want to have that nice body. You got to sacrifice. Same way with building up the mind and being of that race of judges, that race of supreme beings. You got to sacrifice. If you ain't willing to sacrifice, then forget it. If you're not willing to sacrifice, then forget it. If you're not willing to sacrifice that people, then forget about it. That's the reality of building up that mental defense. What are you willing to sacrifice? It's people. It's submental frequencies all around you. It's submental frequency all around you. You understand? It's submental frequency all around you, waiting to destroy you mentally. The beast is putting these frequencies, these submental black frequencies out. Be gay. Be a lesbian. Be a homosexual. Smoke weed. Smoke crack. Smoke angel dust. Tattoo yourself up. Put crosses on your face. Cut yourself. Do whatever. Kill yourself. Be a degenerate. He's putting these frequencies out continuously to produce a submental group of people. And you hanging out with these people. You sleeping with these people. You laying with these people. Oh, be black conscious. Keep reading out the Bible. Keep talking about Black Lives Matter. They're going to keep telling you that. They're going to keep telling you that. You have to realize what it is. What is it that you're willing to sacrifice? You have to realize that. What are you willing to sacrifice? The mental defense is about sacrifice. The mental defense is about sacrifice. That's what the mental defense is about. The mental defense is about sacrifice. The sacrifice is a shield. The sacrifice is a shield. That's your defense. Your defense is a shield of sacrifice. Not being amongst people who are willing to absorb the hit of submental energy. Black people are willing to absorb the hit of submental energy. They're willing to be submental. They're willing to absorb that hit of submental energy constantly, continuously. They're willing to absorb it. They're willing to absorb that submental hit of lower energy. They're not looking for nothing higher. So if you are amongst these people, and you are, then you have to sacrifice that. They're going to absorb that submental frequency that the beast is putting out. They're going to continue to absorb it. They're going to continue to absorb it. And there's nothing that can be done about that. Everybody wants to strip you of your supremacy. Understand that. Everybody wants to strip you of your supremacy. It ain't just white people. It's black people too. It's black people too. They want to strip you of your supremacy. They don't want to see you become that race of supreme beings. They know it's possible for you, but they know it's not possible for them. They gave their souls over already a long time ago. They gave over their souls. They can sense it in you. They're around you because they want to drain your energy. Do you understand, or shall I say, do you understand how much mental energy you give off when you're talking to these people? How you begin to age yourself talking to these people? You have people who will be constantly youthful because they do not allow themselves to be around people who are mentally draining. You have people who are mentally draining. You know, there's two types of mental. There's a reason why I spell mental MENTELL, and the other mental is MENTAL. The mental, as I said back in the old day, was for the submental people, the people on that lower mental state, that lower mantle state, who are of the submental frequency of person, place, and possession. They're not interested in the power. The mental is the power. The transmission and reception, the communication is the power. That's the power. They want the person, place, and possession, the people, places, and possessions. They want the money. They want the land. They want those things. And they will sell out whoever they got to sell out. They'll steal from whoever they got to steal from. They'll be prideful and they'll be egotistical just so they can get what they want. These are the people you have to avoid. These are the people that came into the Republican mental. Like, they don't mind stealing and lying and claiming that they are of the bright race when they are not. They are not. You show what you are about by what you do. Why would you allow yourself to do? There's never no justification for doing what you do or being around people like this. This will take power away from you by being amongst these people. This will stop you from finding your extended self, your higher self. This will keep you from connecting to your higher self. You need all of your mental focus, and you need to be around those who are mentally focused on finding their higher self. And we made the focus so high, we made it so that people who are not of this, cut from this cloth, would want to leave. We did it for a reason. This is our last chance, in evolution, in the state of evolution. We've come up through the ranks of all these groups. Islam, Nuwapu, all those groups out there, these different groups of the last millennium. This is our first and last chance. This is our evolution that we can move to. And it's only going to be a chosen few because a lot of people are not mentally strong enough. They can't stop being black. They can't stop being black. And a lot of you, in order for you to build that mental defense, you have to stop being black in every aspect of the word. You have to stop listening to ignorant people talk to you, ignorant black people. You have to stop with this ignorant communication. You have to stop doing the things that you're doing. Anything that remotely is of so-called blackness, you have to stop. Now, people will say, oh, I guess you want your people to act white. We don't want our people to act white neither. For you black power Negroes, we don't want our people to be white neither. We don't want them to act or do nothing white neither because both of y'all are poisoned. Both black and white are poisoned. We don't want to act white and we don't want to act black. We want to be bright. We want to be bright. What do I mean by that? What is being bright? Being bright is being totally, purely, and extremely logical and not having any emotion about anything. Stripped of emotion. And in order to strip yourself of emotion, you have to strip yourself of connection. That's the way you strip yourself of emotion. You have to strip yourself of connection. Connection to the people who have an emotional attachment to the matrix. This is how you build your psychic defense. These people have realized black, white, and everything in between. The humans have an emotional attachment and connection to the matrix, meaning the systems that are set up here. They have a connection with it. That's why the black man, nobody going to cry like the black man and black woman if the American government goes down, if the society goes down. Nobody going to cry like the black man and black woman. The white man and white woman, they're going to have a fit. But the black man and black woman, you're going to hear them wailing in the damn street because they have an emotional attachment to the present. They have an emotional attachment to the present. You cannot be like these people. You cannot have an emotional attachment to anything. That's how you start to build up that mental defense. You cannot have an emotional attachment to your friends, to your family, to your husband, to your wife. You can't. I'm sorry. I know that that's hard to hear. You can have a sentimental attachment to the people that's close in your family, but that has to be formed by way of a mental connection. Because I'm going to be real with you, you got certain, even if you have children, you already could tell at an early age which one of your children, your children, they ain't not with you mentally. They're not going to be with you. You already could tell. And I'm not saying you abandon them, you're not treating them bad. You raise them to the best you can because, like I said, you only here temporarily to be their parents. When I brought out the word parent, they're renting you as parents. They're renting you to raise them. You're only here temporarily to be their parents. And when they hit a certain age, they're going to go off on their own. You did your job. Don't think that they're going to be with you all your days or that they necessarily going to walk in the same path or walk in that path of evolution. They might decide to walk in a circle, work on the circular path with the black race. They might decide to be Negroes. You understand? They might decide to just go ahead and be that. You ain't got nothing to do with that. You got to keep moving. You have to keep moving. That's how your mind has to be. Your mind has to be, I'm all about making it to that other side to meet the future self, the extended self. Because the future self, the extended self, waits for you in the future. You have something to walk to. That's why y'all came into the Republic of Mentellect. That's why a lot of you had forfeited being black people when you came here. I said, you got to leave your blackness at the door. You can't be black in here. Ain't no black people in the Republic of Mentellect. You left your blackness at the door. You left your submental blackness at the door. A lot of people couldn't do that. They tried it, and they tried to fake the funk, and they ran right up out of here after they couldn't do it because they didn't build up that mental defense. They didn't build up that mental defense against blackness, so that blackness was always calling them. That blackness of wanting, desiring person, place, and possession was always calling them. We gotta get some money. Y'all ain't got no money. You ain't got no land. You ain't got no money. You ain't got no land. And they ain't got no money and no land. Or they want we grew some plants on our thing. We could feed ourselves. So that's basically what it's all about, right? With the Negro, it's all about feeding your stomach and getting the material possessions. Forget the mental power. Forget that. They ain't thinking about that. That's not first with them. That's not even on their priority. It's just feeding their stomach and getting money. They want to talk about, I'm connecting to. No, you're not connecting to anything. You're not. You're not connecting to anything. It sounds good. You already know the phoniness of the black people. They phony. They don't have the mental capacity to connect to any higher self because there is no higher self with them. There is no higher self. They can try, and they can still try to hang on like certain people hanging on to names and stuff, but there's no higher connection to anything with them. They already sealed their fate. They already showed who they were. They already showed that they spiritual beings and not those of the soul, because in order to have a soul, you have to have that mental fortitude and that clarity and that extended vision in order to have a soul. The fact that if you walked in the Republic of Mentellect and you decide after being in the Republic of Mentellect to walk out, you ain't got no soul. You have no soul. If you walked into something like this and didn't realize what this was and didn't feel like you was a part of it, then you ain't got no soul, because this is where the souls are gathering. You a spirit being. If you decide to stay away from this and not come in this, you still part of the black spirit. You still think that you're going to make it as a black person. You still think that, and like I said, that's part of that building up against that. You still think that the white man got something for you. You still think that. A lot of y'all still think that he's going to do something for you. He's going to give you a job or give you money or give you a new stimulus package. Y'all still think like that. You got to build up a mental defense against that. You got to know in your mind there's nothing else, man. That's it. This is it. You got to know in your mind that this is it. If you don't know that, if you don't think that, then hey, man, you're going to be in that. You done drop your defenses, man. You're going to be destroyed. Waiting around for the white man to do something for you, you're going to be destroyed. Waiting around for a job, waiting around for education, you're going to be destroyed. He ain't got no jobs for you. The only job he got for you is in prison, in the prison camps, under the private corporations. That's what he got for you. And the black race. That's the future of the black man. And his black woman. He want to raise your sons and rape your daughters. Know this when you're building up that defense. I'm going to take a call. 313. 313. 313, you on the air. Can't hear you, 313. Okay. I don't know if you're not coming in. 313. All right, I had to hang up on you. Am I coming in clear? I just want to make sure I'm coming in clear. Got another call. 440.
Yes, how you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, yeah, I was listening in the beginning, and you say as far as you have to like separate, and I noticed that you say you can't take like your children, your mate and stuff like that. So basically, you have to detach yourself from like everybody in your family that's not on the same mental state as you.
Well, you already did that already. If you
Mhm.
are, like I said, you moving around these people and whatnot, because like I said, all these people are with you for a short period of time anyway. And you have to
Mhm.
look at it this way: your children are with you for a short period of time. They're always going to be your children, but understand that they're with you for a short period of time. From the time you raise them to when they hit 18 years old, they're only with you
Mhm.
for a short period of time. Right? Same
Right.
thing with the person you're going to be with, because y'all eventually going to pass on or whatever the case may be. So you didn't come here for that. You came here to raise yourself first and foremost. And if they're being raised in it, that's fine. That, like I said, that's like a job to you. Like, for example, your job isn't your life. If you have a job you go to, that's not your life, really your life, now is it?
No.
Okay, well, this is the same thing with raising children and being with a husband. And I know this might sound kind of cold, but it's real. That's the same thing of being with a husband or children who are not in the same mind frame. You're just performing a job right now. They're not going to grow with you. That family and being amongst that family and talking to them, that's just something that is a sentimental connection and bond you have with them. But they're not necessary to your future growth and your future evolution mentally. They're not necessary to it.
Mhm. Well, yeah, I mean, I understand it, but like I noticed, like you say, you have to like basically, like you say, disattach, but you don't have to put no like emotion behind it. How do you take emotion off of like, especially when it comes to the person that your spouse? How do you disattach the emotion connection part of it? Because I
You
mean, if
have
you've
to.
been with somebody for so long, for years, and then you all of a sudden just come aware of the mental state of everything, you just have to like basically, you know.
Well, let me show you something. Let's say
Mhm.
you're married, right? And you find out your husband cheating on you, right?
Yeah.
Will you be mad?
Of course. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Will you
I'll
start
be there.
contemplating? Would you start contemplating divorcing him?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. So then it ain't that easy to separate that emotional attachment now, is it? Until something happened to you, right? Emotionally, till he
Right.
breaks that trust in you. So it's not as hard as you think it is.
Mhm. Right. I mean, this is my last thing I want to say because I was saying all that to say because for myself I'm with someone right now that's like far as like his mental is not where my mental is at. I feel like he's mentally there. I feel like I'm mentally going because I feel like I'm coming into. I want to come into the mental act. I want to get pay my membership every month or whatever like that. And I told him about this, and he was saying basically the same thing that you said. Oh, he just want to take your money and stuff, stuff like that. It's a scheme and this that, and the third. So
Of
I
course
don't
he
know. I
did.
just feel like, yeah, and I mean, I always been like that. Even when I was consider myself as a Christian, he would say, "Oh, you always changing, and you was a Christian. You don't know what you want to be." And he said, "Now you an Israelite. Like, you change. I feel like I have to change. I can't be the same all the time. So, and I feel like when I come across your stuff on, YouTube, I was like, okay, this has to be it, because there's nothing else really. Like you say, it's really nothing else to me,
If
per
it was,
se.
I'd tell y'all. I would tell you because this is hell on me because I don't like to have to tell people the truth. Like I just told you about cutting yourself off from these people. I don't like to have to tell people because people get mad at you when you tell them the truth. I get that all the time.
Right.
People get mad at you and whatnot. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear something that's going to sugarcoat it and make it make
Mm-hmm.
it sweet to them. And I'm not. I'm gonna tell you really what it is because you
Mm-hmm.
can't. You can walk away if that person does something you don't like or hurts you emotionally. Then you'll be ready to walk away. So you mean to tell me you wouldn't sacrifice that person for the building up of your mental and to come into the higher self? You wouldn't sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
for that? That's
Right.
much more higher and greater than your emotional attachment to that person. That don't mean nothing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree as well. That's why I feel like even with myself disattaching, I feel like I'm already at a stage where I'm already like, doing it mentally, because certain things that someone would do to me, like I would like get emotional. I would get so emotional I start crying. But now I just feel like since I've been listening to your broadcast, whatever, I have become mentally like stronger mentally, because I haven't been putting no emotional connection to anything. And I know that's a step in saying that I'm coming into the Republican intellect. So that's something that I want to do, not for myself, but just I have a 4-year-old daughter as well, and I want her to do the same thing. So that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah.
What city are you in?
I'm in Ohio right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, like I said, if you hopefully you in the Mentellect radio groups. Are you in the Mentellect radio groups on Facebook?
I am.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you can get to see this shows. You've seen our videos and stuff. All right, sister. Like I said, don't get weighed down by that person, because it seem like you were a black person. And the more and more you stay with the black man, you gonna be black too, and you're not gonna evolve.
Right.
And he's not trying to see you evolve, because he's not evolving. So, and they'll let it after a while just sucking the energy and the life from you. So,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. All right.
Bye-bye.
I tell people, don't stay in these relationships if these people are not with you mentally, because, like I said, that's building up the mental defense. You have to be emotionless. You have to be emotionless in building up that mental defense. You have to be emotionless, right? You have to make it all about you and extending yourself mentally. You have to make it all about you. You can't make it about nothing else. You can't make it about, oh, well, how he gonna feel if I leave, or how she gonna feel if I leave, or how the money and this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. And you see, this is the thing why I keep saying about the money and about the dues, because people think I'm going to not talk about the dues and being in the Republican intellect. It's meant to keep black people out, which the sister just said about her boyfriend saying, oh, see, he wants your money. That's what I want you to do. So I want black people to say, oh, see, he all about his money. So if I'm all about the money, then that'll keep you away from me, because, black people don't like giving up nothing. That's the whole point. See, the $100 a month is nigger repellent. It's black people repellent. Like you got mosquito repellent, $100 a month is nigger repellent. Because we know niggas ain't going to get no $100. They might try it for the first couple of times, but nigga like, man, I could be doing more with that $100, man. I got to be giving this guy $100. He do a radio show. I could listen to this for free. And they really believe that this is all we doing is giving them the radio. They really believe that. That's why we want you to leave. That's why we do it. Because in this stage of the game, this is not a game, man. In this stage where we going, this is not a game, man. We need the mind strong and focused. We know black people ain't trying to pay no $100. That's why we put it up there. That's exactly why. What better way to keep people out who undesirable, people who are mentally undesirable? That's how I put up the mental defense in the Republican intellect. That's how I did that, by charging $100 a month to be here. I know black people ain't trying to do that. They'll come up with every excuse. Oh, well, brother, I don't think that you should be charging, because that's capitalism, brother. Like somebody told me on Facebook, that's capitalism, brother. You shouldn't be capitalizing on people. That's like capitalism, brother. Or yeah, brother, I'm trying. I ain't really working right now. I'm like, okay, please spare me. Spare me. You sound like black people. And if you sound like black people, you stop talking to me. I don't want to talk to no black people. I don't want to talk to no white people, and I don't want to talk to no black people. No, thank you. No, thank you. You understand that? No, thank you. This is sacrifice, man. This is sacrifice. This ain't no game. This ain't what you like. You understand? This ain't what you like. It ain't gonna be what you like. When you go into that extension of the higher self, you're going to see ugly things about yourself you're not going to like. But that's all a part of building up the mental defense, because everything I'm saying, I'm explaining outwardly to you. You don't seen it somewhere before. That's why the sister say, yeah, he sounds just like what you said. Yeah, I know how black people think. Been around them all my life. I know how black people think. I know the limitations they feel. I know how white people think. That's why, like I said, you build up that psychic defense or that mental defense, because now you don't even care. You so over these people that you willing to go past them. You so over them. You supposed to, your mind says, well, I'm just so over this. I'm over this foolishness and stupid. I'm just so over this. That's how you're supposed to be. And you literally become at peace because now you have a purpose in life. Purpose is how you build up the mental defense. Purpose. I gave our people the greatest purpose of all. I said, come together in this covenant, in this community, and let's find our people, man. We'll grow. We growing. Because you got a lot of our people who tired. You'll never build that defense being around black people. You're not. The only way you're going to build that defense is being separate from black people. That's the only way. Because everything absorbs the black people. What they say, niggas draw heat. Black people draw heat. They draw submental energy, submental heat. That's why the white man throw all his filth and degeneracy into the black neighborhoods. He throw his drugs in there, right? He throw his drugs in there. He throw his guns in there. He throw all his filth. He throw all the bad cops in the black neighborhood, the white degenerate cops. He throw all the bad everything in the black neighborhood because he know black people will absorb anything low frequency and submental. He knows that. He knows that black absorb, and y'all Negroes say all the time, black absorb everything. Black absorb, yeah, you're right. It's absorb all the submental things. The word black and being associated with blackness absorbs everything. This is where the white man does his dirt at amongst black people. He does his dirt amongst black people. He does his filth amongst black people. The dark nations, as he say, because he knows you're going to absorb filth. He knows you're going to absorb the filth. And we're not interested in absorbing the filth. We want to absorb the brightness. We want to absorb the light. We want to absorb the spectrum of unlimited transmission, of unlimited reception. That's what we want. We want to absorb that. We want to absorb that unlimited transmission, that unlimited bright power. That's what we want to absorb continuously. That is not the mindset of black people. You have to make a choice. The minute you make the choice and you stick to it, then you're going to start receiving. Then you start building up that mental defense. You got to build that mental defense in this world that is about submental behavior. You got to build it. If you came here and you listening to these broadcasts, you were smart enough to listen to these broadcasts, it's fine. You amongst the bright race. You're supposed to be of the bright race. But what's holding you back is you still want to be black. You go amongst the blacks and you miss your black friends. You miss the niggas. You want to go back amongst the niggas again, and you want to be a nigga with them. You can't be like, oh yeah, they niggas, but I ain't no nigga. Yes, you are. You with them, you a nigga too. They a nigga, you a nigga. Wouldn't you like to be a nigga too? No, I wouldn't, and I would hope you wouldn't want to be. I would hope you wouldn't want to be. Because you're not going to build up that mental defense. Because those mental defenses has to be up in order for you to receive. You have to block out everything. I done experienced this already. I feel it when I walk in the street and people looking at me and whatnot. And I'm not being paranoid at all. I feel it when I'm walking in the street and people just looking at you. They sense something coming off you. That stream of power is coming off of you. That stream of power is coming off of you. There's a reason when you even in the white man show you the so-called superheroes, like with the X-Men, you always see the X-Men. They always with other X-Men. They were other X-Men. You see Superman, he with the Justice League with the other superheroes, right? They ain't hanging out with no regular people. They with people that's like them. So you're supposed to be in a collective of people to build up that mental defense. That's the whole point. You got to be amongst people who are like you, who think like you, who are part of the same thing you about. Because if you don't got that, there's nothing but confusion. That's confusion equals submental energy. When you have that connection, when you have that gravitational pull toward one another, it strengthens that defense and it strengthens that reception and the transmissive power. It strengthens it. Submissive is born on by confusion. Submissive frequency is born on by confusion. You see the people in the church, they praying to Jesus, they praying to Allah, they praying to the Lord, whoever they praying to all these gods, they praying to whatever out of a state of confusion and crisis. Fear. Fear. And if you're amongst these people, you're going to inherit that energy. You're going to inherit that energy if you're amongst these people. You should be scared to be amongst black people. You should be scared to be amongst white people, not out of fear that they're going to hurt you physically, but they will hurt you mentally. They will hurt you mentally, purposely and on purpose and unconsciously. They will hurt you. Just talking to you, they will hurt you. Because the time you spend entertaining them and talking to them is the time you're going to be dumbing yourself down. You're going to be cutting your reception. You're going to be cutting your transmission and your reception. We are back. Community is everything. Building up the mental defense is all about community. It's all about community. It's another thing about community. It's all about community. People don't want to hear community. You know, they speak against community. See, because the reason why black people don't like community is because community means togetherness and a strong collective power. And when you got that strong collective power in community, you can't really break people down that readily if they all together on one page. You can't break them down. You know, you got people who are of the black race, they're here to sabotage your mental defense. They're here to sabotage it. They want to bring in that low mentality, that low-mindedness. They want to bring that in. And we've learned that in order for us to build up that mental defense, we have to look to what it is that we stand to inherit as those who are of Amen, meaning the Omni, right? This is why we have something special within the Bright Order for the people who are going to be in the Republic of Mentellect, you know, and the breaking down of Amenism, which is going to be another level of Mentellect. That's all coming because it's that time for our people. Like I said, we have no place else to go from here. We have no place else to go from here. In knowing this, we're going to want to strengthen our community. In knowing this, right, we're going to want to strengthen our community. Right? We're going to want to strengthen it. We're going to want to move forward with our community in knowing this. And we will move forward within our community in knowing this. Right? We have to block everything out that's being fed to us. Even the information that you're watching, listening to, looking at on internet. Right? See, that's not as bad as the people who are constantly in your face talking to you because, you know, you program 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year by these news outlets, by the internet, by the YouTube, by the cell phones, not even to mention the subliminal messages they're transmitting through the airwaves, right, that you think are your thoughts because a lot of the thoughts that you think are yours are really not your own. I told you that. They have a sound transmitter that transmits thoughts and frequencies through the air, right? And you might find yourself thinking about the most submental and stupidest thing in the world, and you'd be like, why am I thinking about this? You'll find yourself thinking about these things, be something stupid. I'm like, why? You'd be like, why is it popping in my head? Because it's popping into everybody else's head. You got people, these people who are of the intelligence community, right? The intelligence community, these people who are of the government, they pushing out high-pitched frequency and sound and transmission subliminally for people to pick up. They pushing out for people to pick up. That's why if you ever notice when you asking these young guys out here, yo, why y'all wearing them tight pants? Why y'all dressing like that? Why y'all putting on skirts? They're like, oh, I don't know. It's just something we do. They can't tell you why they're doing it. That's it's the style or it's just something we do. They don't understand that they're having this programmed in their head. They're having it programmed in their head, not just by watching the rappers. That's the outward, the actors and entertainers. That's the outward subliminal programming. But then you have the subliminal submental programming, which is the transmission they send out into the atmosphere to get you doing and following these things that they are, trying to transmit to you. They push that out. It's gradual. They push it out gradually. You understand? They push it out gradually to you. And next thing you know, you're doing things, and you're like, well, damn, why am I doing this? Why am I following this? Why am I a part of this? What's going on here? Next thing you know, you doing things, you accepting things, you being a part of things that you wouldn't have did 5, 10 years ago. You find yourself accepting things, listening to things, and, not judging things in the right state of mind that you would have 5 or 10 years ago. You accept things. And this is part of why you have to build up that mental defense, because it will send you in the opposite direction of where you need to be, what you're supposed to be doing. The right judgment to make, because being or receiving that mental transmission, that high mental frequency and transmission to reach toward the extended version of self, that Amen self or that omnis self, means that you have to be making the right judgments. And that judgment has to be void of emotion. It has to be void of emotion, because that's a big thing that humans do. They play on your emotions. You must build up a mental defense against the emotional attachments. You must build up a mental defense against the emotional attachments. And that's the hardest thing you got to tell somebody. I don't care if it's your children. I don't care if it's your husband. Because people, all these people who are controlled by the emotion and the submental suggestions of the beast, it's like these people have tapeworms in their head, man. Why I say they got tapeworms? Because eventually when they put that message in the minds of the submental people, that message begins to drive these people and take them over, and they start trying to work on people like yourself who are trying to reach out on a higher frequency. It's not even them anymore. As you start raising yourself up mentally, it might be your mother, your father, your sisters, your brothers, nieces, nephews, boyfriend, girlfriend, your children. Those people are not part of that high mental frequency. They're going to try and work on you, man. They're going to try to pull you down and destroy you. It's like the person who get bit by a vampire. Pretty soon, they're not the same people anymore. They're controlled by that vampire energy to bite and feed on people. Same thing like the people who are, like I said, have a tapeworm in the body. The tapeworm will take over your body to the point whereas you start eating to feed the tapeworm. You're not even eating for yourself no more. Same thing with these people. They become submental receptors for the beast. The black race have become submental receptors for the beast. In other words, they will receive all of the submental transmission of the elites within the matrix. They'll receive all of that, all the submental communication. Smoke weed, listen to ignorant hip-hop, tattoo yourself up, put crosses on your head, wear a dress, be a homosexual, be a lesbian. They'll absorb all of that, and then they'll go out here and try to push it to somebody else. They'll try to push it to you. So you become like an agent for the beast to push their submental frequency and programming. You become like a transistor for them, a transmitter for them. And you're no longer working toward the omnis self. You've given over yourself to the submental self, to the lower self. You've given over to the lower self, to the lesser. You're no longer being or trying to find the higher self. You've given that up. Because within this matrix, they make it attractive to be black here. They make it look attractive. You see all your friends being black. You see them choosing to stay within the matrix. They don't want to know the truth. They don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to stay in the matrix. They want to keep watching the NBA playoffs and smoking their weed. But see, the thing with it is, the matrix, it's not going to last. That's another way you build up your mental defense, because you have to know the matrix ain't going to last. It's not. Why you think the beast is getting ready to get up out of here? He knows it's not going to last. Nothing lasts forever, especially when it's a lie. Nothing lasts forever, especially when it's a lie. His whole world is a lie. Your whole existence here is a lie as black people. Smoking weed, tattooing yourself up, homosexuals, lesbians, all the things that are of this moment that the beast is putting in your head through this submental frequency of programming is not real. So, of course, anything that's real is not going to be around much longer. He ain't had this out. He had this programming going for like about 10, 15 years now. He's at the height of it right now. He done pushing this slave programming out on the people for hundreds of years, but he's at the height of it now. It's coming toward the end because as soon as the signaling of the bright race starts to happen and they start separating out of the black race, that means a division of people are coming up, and they're going to separate themselves by that division 10 years into the new millennium. That's a signal. That's why I received Mentellect in 2010, and it became stronger this year. Why? Because the bright race is raising up. They're coming up mentally. They're coming out gradually. They're coming from amongst those who are mentally dead, and they are becoming that mental defense just by sheer logic, sheer rationale, absent of emotion. You will become stronger once you delete emotion out of your mental makeup. Once you delete emotion out of your mental makeup, you will become stronger. Once you no longer raise your children based on emotion, and you raise them in pure logic and pure rationale, and you show them that you are stern parents, right, who have a sentimental connection to them, not an emotional one, a sentimental connection, meaning that you are pleased with their mental growth, and you have connected with them on a mental level, and you are showing that you are pleased with that, just as you will show them that you are displeased when they are not raising themselves on a mental level and they are not being above and beyond that which you have set as a standard to raising themselves onto. You have to make that clear. You can't love unconditionally. You cannot love unconditionally. Hear me. You cannot love unconditionally. That is a trap. That will destroy your mental defense, because then that means that it's based on emotion. That means it's based on emotion, and that means that they have won. I'm going to take a call. 504.
How you feeling, brother? I keep hearing you saying, I keep hearing you using the, I keep hearing you saying mental matrix. And then previous things I came across and things I accepted to be true myself, I always looked at this reality as being like sort of like a simulated reality, almost like a virtual type of world. And my question to you is the advancement of our people, and you using words like program and system and program and and system. Using those words, is this world, are these worlds modeled after computer programs?
Yeah. Your thinking is modeled after computer program. In order for you to think, it's a form of computation. You're computing numbers, because everything that comes into this atmosphere, everything that's streamed into this atmosphere is based on mathematical equations until you get past this atmosphere, this solar system, where there is no more mathematics, there's pathmatics, but that's something else. Everything is, your way of thinking is based on computation.
Okay.
Reading of numbers. Computers are based on reading numbers. That's where all the logic and rationale and everything comes from. That's why when you say you're thinking of something, you say you look and you say it has to add up.
Right. So this being that virtual kind of world, my question would be then to take my thinking to another level would be to you is someone controlling the program outside of these realms? Like is evil or is the creator allowing someone else? Is how am I trying to say this? Is someone else controlling the program? Or is the creator and allowing these programs to happen in these realities like this? Or is it a purpose for these programs? for these systems.
The purpose and within this realm, within Earth and within this solar system, you saying is there a purpose?
Yes,
yeah, it is. The purpose is for the people who are of the submental or weak mind to stay within the context and the confines of that matrix. The matrix was built for the matrix was built for the people who are of the weak minded. The people who are meant to go beyond the matrix are for the people who are strong mentally. So I'm not against the matrix. Let me explain something to you. I'm not against the matrix. I'm not.
Okay.
The matrix, certain people belong in the matrix. The majority of the people belong in the matrix. I'm just trying to pull the people out who don't belong there.
Who don't belong. Right.
Yeah, I'm just pulling out the people who don't belong. I'm not here for the people. I'm not here to destroy the matrix.
But that was one
I'm
of
not
those
against it.
questions.
Let me just finish. I'm not against the let me finish. I'm not against the Illuminati. I'm not here to destroy the matrix because certain people belong in the matrix. That's like me saying I'm here to destroy prison. I'm not here to destroy prison. Certain people belong in jail. I'm here to take the people who don't belong there.
Okay. So I mean that's the. So what's I guess my question would be what would that purpose be for to take it to create our own another reality, another system, another program, or like what would be the purpose of waking up for in a sense in like what like because yeah, that's my question. Like what is the purpose for getting out of the matrix?
To venture out into an extended reality that has no limitations.
No limitations. So you can't have those limitations. You can't have no limitations in these realities once you come to a certain knowledge, for lack of a better way to put it.
Within this, with your operate. No, you're gonna always be limited in these. You're always gonna be limited within the matrix of these. The whole thing is to build a community of people who are focusing themselves mentally to move outside of this. And they become a part of that extended reality that has no limitations to it. See, this has a limitation to it. Everything within this matrix has a limitation. Everything within this governmental system or this submental system that's set up has a limitation to it that is based in person, place, and possession. We are moving toward power because the power is the mental power. And going into that state of power, that is about going into a fourth dimensional state and going into higher states which will guide us out through a state of mental power to advance in extended states where there is no limitation. It's all continuous. There is no stop.
I fully understand that. I think that's a wrap. I think that's all I wanted to ask. I think that's all I wanted to ask.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
No problem. Like I said, certain people belong in the matrix. Not here to destroy the matrix. Here to take the people out who just don't belong. And that's it. So let me go ahead and read these questions before we get out of here. Why must the bright race build up a mental defense so that we don't get sucked down into the submental realm of the matrix with the black race? Because if we get sucked down into the submental realm with the black race, then we're going to go into that downward black hole and that downward black spiral. Because they always talk about the black hole, the black hole, the black hole. What do you think the black hole is? The black hole is the matrix, where you will constantly be going through the same rotation of submental programming and slave mind control. That's the black hole. You will continuously keep going through this. You're going to constantly keep hearing these Negroes say the same thing over and over and over and over again. And they're going to keep reverberating this crap over and over, and you're going to until you lose your mind. See, the people who don't lose their mind and can keep hearing this, they in the matrix. But those of you who lose your mind because you keep saying, God damn, can't y'all talk about something else? Y'all still talking about black power? You still talking about black revolution? You still going back and forth with the white man? You losing your mind because you looking for a breaking point. You hit the breaking point. And the reason you hit the breaking point because you're looking for something else. They're not looking for nothing else. It don't even occur to them to look for nothing else. So they belong in the matrix. The black race belongs in the matrix, right along with the white race and the human race. Who is the bright race? The bright race are the people who are coming out of the black race, the diamonds out of the coal, the carbonite beings who are coming out of the black race, breaking the shell. What does a mental defense do? It protects you from listening to ignorant and submental communication. carrying your mind pulled downward, whereas you can't receive frequency. Because trust and know, the so-called black race, the white race, they don't want you to receive. They want you to stay firmly rooted in being black. They want you to stay firmly rooted in being Negroes, African Americans, Moors, Muslims, Christians, Israelites, metaphysicians, or Pan-Africans, or Darwinists, or black atheists. They want you to firmly be rooted in that nonsense, that submental matrix of foolishness that comes from the white man, from human beings, mankind. Nothing of the omni, of the continuous, of the extended. How is the mental defense formed? The mental defense is formed through avoidance, and it's formed through the decimation of emotion. The decimation of emotion forms the mental defense. The destroying of emotion starts to form the mental defense. What is the difference between the mental and the mental, M-E-N-T-A-L, and the mental, M-E-N-T-E-L? The mental, which is what the submental, which is man, is on a submental, a low three-dimensional state of thinking, limited, and the mental, M-E-N-T-E-L-L, is on the higher dimensional states going into the fourth dimension and beyond. That is the upper mental, and then you got the submental. The upper mental opens the world to the extended mental, constantly, where you will find the extended self. And that's it. Join us Wednesday night at 10. We'll be back here at 10 for the next Mentellect Radio broadcast. I am your host, the intellectual Nuben Menkarayzz. This has been Mentellect Radio. Good night.
It's the Republic of Mentellect, rising out the black race to the white race, out the black race to the white race. It's the Republic of Mentellect, black race to the white race. If it's hell, I'm in, then it's hell us. They tried everything just to spell us. Fed us religion, gave us fake gods. Through all of that, we beat the odds. Now we coming together under one flag. Colors red, gold, and blue. Superman, Superwoman, that's me and you. The infinite capabilities that we